Yeah.
Or I can just spin it. I can just turn it around.
Oh, okay. Well, but they won't know who you are.
All right.
I thought we was gonna have more people here.
So I'm putting everything together still, but a couple of places I want to run by. All right. Good morning, everyone. Sorry about the change in location. Unfortunately, the other conference room was booked up, so we're glad everybody found their way over here. And I'm going to, we have a quorum, everyone is here. I'm going to call to order this Friday, January 16th, Landfill Advisory Committee. And any questions before we begin? We have people here today. Welcome to the Benji. I get a chance to speak to you. Hello. Everybody have a good Christmas. Happy New Year. Good Christmas. Awesome. Okay. All right, call to order. And everybody should have the minutes in their binder in front of them. Everybody get a chance to look at them. You have any questions? Any comments? Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. Now we're to the public comment section. So I'll open the floor for anyone with comments. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Allison Cruz, and I live at the ass of the landfill. And I am here again just to give thanks, and I appreciate everybody's time here. And I just hope we have more and more meaningful, productive conversations that yield actions like weather stations or whatever it is that we're here for in the better interest of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Philip, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
I've had 2 or 3 people call me. Should we do that in the comment section, or we just do it in the other? They could not be here today. What would be the proper way to do that?
Go ahead and give them a comment section. I think would be the best.
Okay, and I will give their name.
Yeah, please.
Nick Hall, who lives on Mount Zion Road, about 3/4 of a mile from the landfill. He still is very upset with the odor from the landfill. And I forget who else. Oh, Paul Hill, that lives down below me, which is on the east side of the landfill. Now, Nick lives on the north side of the landfill. Allison lives on the south, she said, but the south side. And he, like I say, Paul said he still smells it right much. David Tolley, which lives right beside Paul, basically, within a 1/4 mile of each other. Same thing. And then we'll get to when my comment about the odor later on.
Just out of curiosity, how many times are they calling you multiple times since our last meeting? Are they?
Nick just a couple times. Okay. Paul just mentioned it maybe once, and nobody else has mentioned it more than once.
Just curious, and also, I guess my second question is: are they saying it's a constant odor, or it becomes
constant
odor?
Constant.
Have those gentlemen reported to Royce through the system? Okay, so that's been logged as a.
And he was at him and his wife, and at Benji's. What do you call it? And there was a lot of complaints there now. Mm-hmm. A lot.
Is it best to do it report to Royce or to the DEQ email website you gave me?
I mean, if you want to talk about it here, I have to know about it. If I don't get reports,
I just don't know where it goes. You know what I mean? Like,
according to the contract, when reports are given to the county, they've been forwarded to Waste Management. So That's exactly what I do.
Okay, thank
you. Royce, do we have a format that we have every time they call and we fill that? So we have
one online, the general.
Okay, but it's not. Okay. You just think it's yeah. I personally would recommend
Oh, sure.
that way.
All of the
we
above
know
are
that- absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. And then send me an email when I guess every month or something, you get a collection. That way I can also look at it. Yes. And maybe that would be something that I don't know, on a day we can come out when it is. All right. Any other comments from the public?
I did, just as William was saying, I had four individuals come to me during the late October, early November era. That's when we get a lot of Northwest wind, going in my district there. And once again, it was just like last year. It was the early mornings, early cold mornings, kind of very much a pressure hold and smell down. And I even noticed a couple mornings that were quite much more excessively worse than it was last year. Now, according a lot of it's had to do with wind direction. We haven't had a lot of that wind since. We've had little to no issue of it extending that far as it was since then. I've been very attentive to it over the last, when this cold front pushed in, pressures went up here lately. We're not getting it to that distance, but of course, wind direction's been different as well. So that's made quite a difference. Of course, I have asked those who have complained to me about it to please try to document it a little tighter. It was, I'm getting the complaints. It was the other morning. What time was it? I don't know. I was headed out to do something, and I'm just trying to pin it down. What it is, it's consistently in our area. Is what
And the weather definitely.
it plays a huge part. If it's low pressure and it's able to just go straight up, we don't have any. The only other one thing I would like to add to comment, of course, and it's been an ongoing issue that we've been trying to find some resolution to, is the weekend overflow, people being turned away, from dumping on the weekend. So I have received two individual complaints on that, and it
And that's the main.
yes.
Any other comments? All right, we close the board of public comments. Next on the agenda, update from Brian and Ben from Lakewood. And welcome. Good to have you. Great to have you here.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy to hear. Yep, yes, sir.
We'd start with tons year over year. 2025 at 776,785 tons versus 2024 886,770. So it's down year over year, 109,985.
Any questions, comments?
Is that on the uptrend since the rail opening?
Yeah. I mean, it's not 70% of the year over year decrease was rail related. 70%. And then the other 30% was a mix of event work that was not repeated. So, there was a soil job or something in 2024 that didn't get repeated in 2025. And then and then the other part of that 30% is Allegheny County out of Covington that we lost to New River Resource Authority, which is the landfill out there in Dublin and stuff, which is closer. We had them for probably 20 years. Then went out to bid, and so obviously closer. We lost the transportation. But going back, that decrease, that delta, 70% was rail.
Okay.
And then I think Ben's talked about it in previous LECs with the Howard Street Tunnel project.
Correct.
That just added layers and time to getting it down. So, like I said, more up north.
Okay.
They kept more of it themselves.
Yeah. But we are seeing it increase as the rails are
Correct.
coming down. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Then right up to the host fees. 2025 was about 2.4 million versus 2024 2.6.
As the tons went, so did the
Yeah. Gas host fees 29,357.
What was that again? 29 what?
29,357 on the gas host fees.
That's for 25.
That's
Mm.
fine.
Just out of curiosity, going back to the host fees, what is that 20? Is that 2.5, 2.6? Is that an average? What's the average been over, let's say, the last 10 years? Any ideas?
Since rail started in 2017,
That's fair.
It's admirable, yeah. Where you'll see the spikes, you can correlate that right to an event work. Because, for example, if you hold out rail, let's say we stopped doing rail, and there was no large event work, you're looking at 300 tons a day coming into the site. And of that 300 tons, 100 tons a day is free, right, give or take. So where you'll see the spot, if you look at that 10 years, and again, 2017 is kind of the delineator as far as, because that's when we're at.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as the rail now, we've always done rail. And you can look back through, I mean, there was the Duke Ash that came in by rail. Prior to that, you'll see large spikes with that. In fact, I forget which month, but it was fun to present that. But that was the largest host fee check we've ever sent. It was $400,000 in 1 month, and it was rail coming in, matched by rail. But if you started in 2017, I think the rest of it's all.
Okay, that's common. Okay.
Yes.
Just for my education, I wasn't sure.
2.4, 2.6 million in the host fee.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
So the rail, is that Norfolk Southern all the way from the northeast down, or is it switched?
To interchange. See, it's actually,
It's CSX to Petersburg.
yeah.
Okay.
My son works in the railroad. The only reason I know.
To Collier Yard. Yep. Yep. And then even before that, you've got two short rail net, to get it to CSX.
And they call it the trash train, but it runs at 4 o'clock in the morning. Wakes me up every morning. But
that we have no control.
no. And hey, I mean, a lot of times I'm already awake, but I mean it's consistent unless something happens.
Do you anticipate any changes with dealing with Norfolk Southern with their merger?
Our corporate rail folks have had some preemptive calls with some of the folks, their counterparts there to make for a smooth transition. At this time, we don't.
Any developments or anything about the potential for bringing ash from the Dominion plant at Deep Bottom? Or wherever it is down there?
Yeah, nothing new. Yeah. I mean, there's Dutch Gap is still in play, Chesapeake's still in play, Possum Point is still in play. but no new updates from.
But they're still in play.
They're still in play. They have removed some, but internalized that. It didn't come to us. We still have cell 9 empty. Cell 9 in the monofill, or the monofill ash aside, still empty, certified, and ready to roll. And that's been kind of our sales speech to any of the ash producers out there that have, especially that have rail lines, although obviously we take a truck too. But
So when they go to negotiate a contract for bids for the cost per ton for rail, is that done each landfill individually, or is it a district where it's Shaw City and you both, and Maplewood both are on the same negotiating deal, or is it like Amelia decides on its own what they can do it for, and Charles City does it, or is it corporate waste management and they look at it and determine? How is that determined?
yeah, a great question. It's site specific.
Okay.
And for various reasons. I mean, including, this site might be CSX certified service. This one might be Norfolk Southern. The interchange adds cost to it, and so it all depends on where it's coming from, where it's going. Because they're obviously, when they hand it off, there's a charge for that. So all that plays into what they're bidding.
So is it the same person doing the bidding for the different locations, or is it up to the locations itself? Is it Brian involved with it and then the manager of the landfill in Charles City? And I understand you're going to have some involvement.
Yeah.
Or is it, I think the guy's name was Ouija Thompson back in the day. He would,
Yep.
Do whatever offer for us as far as our rates went. Is there somebody like him that does the negotiating for each landfill, and he talks to y'all, or is it the landfill says, "Hey, this is what we can do," and then he goes and does his thing?
Correct. So it is a collaborative effort. So we'll be involved, but Ouija Thompson, I would still talk to him. He's obviously no longer with us, but he, there is a new Ouija Thompson.
Right.
So Ouija, or the new person, will have, they'll have areas. So the person for, say, Ouija had basically all the landfills in Virginia.
Okay.
And transfer stations that he would sell into. But then when you get to, say, something like a rail that's going across, multiple states and coming from somewhere, it'll be a collaborative effort on putting that price together, and we'll be included as well. But it is a group effort as far as that.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, that brings us to construction projects for the year. We have no construction projects planned this year. Sales 20 and 21 are completed. And then we just completed about 98% of our 15-acre cap from last year. So still some more stuff like that, but almost finished.
Ben, can I ask you a question? So what you're saying is there's not going to be any major.
No major.
I mean, I know there's people in there working, the contract, but not no major thing like it's been going on the last year.
Yes.
Okay. That's
only construction of gas expansion project we do have planned for this year, which will include 10 to 14 new gas wells. This should help combat with some of the gas collection too. So we're always expanding on that, trying to collect as much as we can.
Give us a dual question. As y'all been capping it, has the complaints gone down? How long have you been capping it?
So, and I'll say this: capping is a great thing. Like that. I mean, that is something we push for and want because of it does alleviate a lot of issues when you permanently cap it. So, right now we just finished up two 15-acre permanent caps, and like Ben said, we're almost at 98% at this one. But I'll say capping can be twofold sometimes. Once the end product is done and everything's balanced back out, a lot of issues go away because obviously you've got liner on top and gas collection on top and it's sealed. But while you're building it, it does tend to, I think, kind of push odors out and push gas out for a little while, so everything balances. And then you're scratching around digging. I mean, they're doing these huge anchor trenches where they're tying in the liner, and obviously when you're doing that, I mean you're digging down into old ways, and they're spraying it as well with deodorant.
It's basically burping everything.
A good analogy, yeah. And until again, I mean, caps are great. I mean, that we want caps. It locks in a lot, so it's. I mean, a lot of stuff goes with it, but during that process, and especially, you're right on top. It obviously this time of years, when we started caps, not the best, but can't always pick that. But yeah, it does tend to kind of burp things out until everything settles down and balances back out.
But you're on the downhill side now, so it should be getting better.
They're
We don't aggravate
98%.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, it really does it because a lot of the complaints this year were, not that it was, they're stronger. We got a lot of that, and that makes perfect sense and adds up to that because you're getting that's a whole different story when you're talking about from your daily usage to digging into something that's been there, X number of years.
And you're part of the capital project. You'll have to. You might have to you're going to have to take a gas well offline and stuff like that. It just and the analogy I like to use is, I mean, the landfill is like a living organism, and most living organisms like balance and continuity, consistency. No different than a wastewater treatment plants likes the same bugs. And not to upset that, and keep the balance. And at first when you're capping, you're kind of disrupting that a little bit. So everything balances back out. You get your new gas flows online, and everything's settling down.
So I know you can't guarantee nothing, but in theory, this coming year should be a little different because before you were up here, now you're down here, and that's all capped off. This year should be better than like the last year. It should, in theory.
Yeah,
in theory.
I should have remembered this from the tour. All the odor emitters and deodorizers and all that, are those just around the perimeter, or do you have any that are up on top?
there's one.
There's two we have kind of up top. They're portable. We kind of move those around. As we move, the trash is it's constantly moving, so we need to be able to move with it. So we do have some portable uses.
So you're trying to get those to be basically just upstream of that trash base, so they're blanketing your exposed and working base.
And Ben's getting ready to extend one line. As we obviously move into 20 and 21, to
expand it with where we're moving, try to stay right there with it. So obviously, if I have deodorizers on the caps area, they're not really efficient, so we just have to move them with where we're working.
Since that's the topic, I have another question. So again, I'm just trying to me, 360 and the train basically is almost like a vacuum with everything, the air moving with the traffic and all that. Would it be very difficult to do one of those lines like you got across the back, like along the railroad tracks? It's permanently there, there's the trains and the traffic is constantly pulling the air. You got a line of deodorizing. It seems like a lot of complaints go that way anyway.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Just to have
Yeah.
a line right along the tracks that's permanent like it is in the back.
Mhm.
That way, as the smell's coming off, kind of going on the low lane, it's hitting that wall before it goes out on 360. I don't know how difficult that would be to consider.
No, that's definitely feasible. We probably attach it to the property line fence without, get encroaching on the easement or
It
anything.
should be completely out of your way. It could be there. Okay. Good thought. Well, that's the only thing that's really pulling the air. It makes sense to me.
I know sometimes right there, Hard Acres Farm, right there, you get a good whip of it, and as you come down that hill, and then come back up right to the landfill. But then once you get, just past that second road,
Yeah.
But that would definitely, you definitely know you're passing it when it's right. When it's right.
There used to be times on 360 you would smell the covering agent.
Oh, yeah.
You get
It's like
sort
a
of
car
cherry.
air freshener. Yeah.
like a cherry.
Another chemical layer.
I do try different scents occasionally.
Cinnamon, try cinnamon.
You don't get to look at Halloween.
They probably know.
Squeeze a skunk every now and then.
I just tell everybody I was using garbage man.
That's all you out there springing. Alrighty. Any other questions? Continue on.
That's pretty much all I had.
That's all you have.
Okay. Everything there, brother.
Well, I mean, that was all we had for that. There wasn't a whole lot going on since fourth quarter. I mean, we got had third quarters meeting, but Ben did leave out two kind of important things that he didn't want to talk about, I'm sure. But Ben was successful in fourth quarter in getting state certified by the VQ DPOR. So congratulations to them for that.
Congratulations.
And he also got his WM has a big push now for a lot of the managers and employees, really anybody that wanted it, to get their drone pilot license, and Ben got that as well. Testing. All the sites are getting drones and something like that.
Well, I'd like to make a suggestion. If Waste Management didn't give him a 25% raise, they should do it. They should give him something. Did that go over well, Brian?
That was not on the agenda. I didn't see that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's good, man.
I just wanted to mention that about that.
That's awesome. Absolutely. Already, anything else?
So I wanted the smell issue. The rail trash seems to be the one that's the most issue or most noticeable. Is there any way to put deodorizer in the containers?
And we looked at that
Okay.
because that was a few years ago. The prior release, we did look at that. They looked at the feasibility of that. I think we spent $20K on the study, and it has to be done up there.
Yeah.
And that was that's where it stopped.
Their answer was, yeah, right.
Well, just
Your problem now.
the ports, trying to put the ports on the sealed containers, and it just the way some of it isn't W up there, and that's owned by a municipality, and even paying for everything, we couldn't get them to do it. And because that would have been, I mean, that would have been very nice.
Hard butting ports on the things.
Yeah.
Those.
And what the 20K was, they went through the injection study, and it didn't do anything. I forget how many cars.
So it didn't work.
It didn't work because of the ports.
Okay.
Because the ports were so isolated,
Okay.
and you couldn't permeate the entire can.
All
Yeah,
right.
you have to pressurize it, but it can permeate.
So what was it? Was it a liquid or was it a granular or what was it that they used?
It was like a vapor,
Okay.
because that's what they thought would permeate.
I'm just wondering if it could be something put in the container beforehand, granular that was activated by moisture or something or another that would, like you toss a handful in the container. And then once the trash went in there and had a chance to set that it would create a reaction that would work.
Was it a neutralizer or a tenderizer?
Neutral. Yeah, we were trying not to mask it and actually move. Which is what, the landfill, we use neutralizers and deodorizers. The neutralizer, look, there's not, you can't see anything. So you put your hand there. The perforations.
Which I would think, Benji's recommendation of having it along the perimeter fence right there would also offset, what you're talking about, Bubba, with it. If it's coming from the rail, if we can have it captured right off the railway, since that's there anyway, I mean, that makes Benji's plan seem even better.
It's where they open the cans. Stink is, like.
At least in theory, I mean.
I guess I could go on being, it's under the old business, but